Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at quite a confluence of events from Wednesday, May 14th, 2025.
That's right.
We're drawing on two main sources: AI deep dive market update, tariffs and tech, and Trump's $600 Saudi deal, market and geopolitical shifts. And our goal really is to unpack all this complexity, find the connections between tech, trade, Middle East policy. It's a lot.
It is. It feels like things are moving so fast in so many areas at once. We're hoping to give you a clearer view, show how these pieces, well, how they fit together.
Okay, let's dive right in then. Tech first. There's this really significant news about NVIDIA and Saudi Arabia.
It's a chip deal.
Exactly. A huge number, 18,000 AI chips reportedly going to the kingdom. What's the big deal there? I mean, beyond the number itself.
Well, it immediately flags the massive global hunger for AI capabilities, right? These aren't just standard chips, they're specialized.
AI calculations, yeah.
Precisely. And the market reaction tells a story, too. NVIDIA stock jumps 5.6%, which is significant. And it even helped the S&P 500 basically erase its losses for the year up to that point.
Wow. So one deal has that kind of ripple effect.
It shows how central AI tech is becoming. You know, it's a driver of economic value. And for Saudi Arabia, it signals this ambition to be a real player in AI, not just a customer. Creates new dynamics, dependencies.
And it's more than just the chips themselves, isn't it? The reports also mention DataVolt, that Saudi investing $20 billion in U.S. AI infrastructure.
That's right, part of the same broader push.
Plus another, $80 billion in joint AI ventures?
Yeah.
With U.S. giants like Google, Oracle operating in Saudi Arabia. That's serious capital.
Absolutely serious.
Yeah.
It signals a very clear strategy from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
They want to build an AI hub, and they're partnering with the biggest U.S. names to, well, fast-track it.
So for you listening, it really highlights the speed of tech fostering these huge international deals, directing massive money flows.
Exactly.
Okay, let's pivot a bit. While tech seems to be booming with this AI excitement, there was also market nervousness because of new tariffs.
The Liberation Day tariffs from the Trump administration.
Right. What was the stated goal there, and what happened immediately in the markets?
The stated aim was pretty straightforward. Reduce trade deficits, make imports pricier to encourage buying domestic.
Okay, classic tariff logic.
Yeah. But the immediate market reaction was apprehension. We saw the Dow Jones take a hit.
Down it went.
Reflecting worries about, potential trade war. These policy shifts can really shake investor confidence fast, especially in sectors tied to global trade.
It's more than just a bad day for the Dow, though.
Well, yeah. It could signal a move towards more protectionism, and that historically has, let's say, complex effects on supply chains, prices. Could be a sign of bigger shifts in global trade.
So, clear cause and effect. Tariffs announced, Dow dips. But interestingly, the sources also noted easing U.S.-China trade tensions around the same time led to gold prices falling. How does that work? Seems opposite.
Yeah, it's a really good illustration of investor psychology. Gold is often seen as that safe haven, right?
Sure, you buy it when things look shaky.
Exactly. So when big tensions, like U.S.-China trade friction, seem to ease up, that perceived need for safety goes down. Less demand for gold, price dips.
Okay.
It just shows you how interconnected it all is. Geopolitics, market sentiment, asset prices, ripples everywhere.
All right, let's get to what feels like the centerpiece here. President Trump's visit to Riyadh and this enormous $600 billion investment deal signed with Saudi Arabia. $600 billion. That's just a staggering number.
It really is hard to even conceptualize. And the scope is incredibly broad.
What does it cover?
It touches defense, technology like the AI deals we mentioned, energy, big infrastructure projects. It's clearly meant to lock in a much deeper economic relationship across, well, pretty much all the strategic areas.
And the defense part alone is huge, right? $142 billion arms deal, reported as the largest ever for the U.S.
That's a figure reported, yes. Largest in U.S. history.
What kind of hardware are we talking about?
Really advanced stuff. THAAD missile defense, that's terminal high-altitude area defense.
Right, for ballistic missiles.
Yes. And Patriot PAC-3 systems, too. And even talk of potential F-35 fighter jet sales, which are, top-of-the-line aircraft.
So this isn't just selling equipment. It's about building long-term security ties.
Precisely. Bolstering Saudi defense capabilities significantly.
But it's not all defense, is it? There was mention of $14 billion for gas turbines and a big facility, $5.8 billion, planned for Michigan.
Absolutely. That part highlights the intended tangible benefits flowing back to the U.S. economy, too.
So connecting the dots, This $600 billion deal, it really drives home the scale of these global power and money dynamics, doesn't it?
It really should be one of those aha moments for anyone watching global economics. The sheer size of these flows and their potential impact, it's immense. And
Yeah.
none of this happens in a vacuum.
Okay, let's look at the geography, the geopolitical angle. The sources pointed out the U.S. visit really focused on the Gulf, on Saudi Arabia, and seemed to, well, sidestep Israel. What message could that send about U.S. policy in the Middle East?
Well, it's interesting. It could potentially signal a kind of strategic rebalancing or reprioritization by the U.S. in the region, a clear focus on strengthening ties with Gulf states,
A shift in focus, maybe?
possibly.
Yeah.
And that seems potentially reinforced by another reported move, the Trump administration lifting sanctions on Syria.
Right, that was mentioned too. What are the potential ripple effects of that?
Oh, that could be quite significant. Lifting sanctions on Syria, it could really redraw some lines, affect existing alliances, economic ties.
Open up new possibilities for engagement.
Potentially, yes. New diplomatic avenues, economic interactions. It could reshape the power dynamics there quite a bit. For you, if you follow the Middle East, these reported moves really show how, well, how fluid things can be.
And just to be clear, we're reporting what the sources indicate about these actions and potential outcomes, not taking a political stance here.
Exactly, just laying out the information from the reports.
Okay, one last little piece. eToro, the trading platform, apparently upsized its IPO. How does that tiny bit of news fit into this bigger market picture?
It's a small data point, but it can be seen as sort of a gauge of market sentiment.
Okay.
Despite the tariff jitters causing volatility in some areas, eToro feeling confident enough to offer more shares suggests there's still decent investor appetite out there,
Yeah.
especially for things like fintech, online trading platforms. There's still belief in growth in certain sectors.
So pulling it all together, we've seen these huge Saudi investments into U.S. tech, into defense. We've seen markets reacting quite nervously to tariffs, and we've seen potential big shifts in Middle East geopolitics. It really paints a picture of deep interconnection, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The tech deals, the trade moves, the diplomacy, they aren't separate stories. They're all tangled together, influencing each other constantly. Understanding those links is really key to making sense of, well, the world right now.
So maybe a final thought for you to chew on. With these significantly deeper U.S.-Saudi ties, especially in critical areas like tech and defense, and with the dynamic shifting in the Middle East, what could be the long-term consequences, maybe ones we haven't even thought of yet, for global tech, for the regional balance of power? Definitely something to keep watching.